Ever since Lucy Letby was arrested, sorry about that. Ever since Lucy Letby was arrested, there was a lot of questions going on in my mind because this looks like a normal human being, right? She looks normal, she looks caring, she knows her job, but deep down, she's evil. She uses her power to gain trust from others and in return has killed many babies, which is disturbing because Beverly Allen was one example, but this one's a bit different because this one terrified me so much because I'm interested in people who are smart, intelligent, and knowledgeable because you're able to build a real relationship with this. But when you use that kind of power to just use it for your own personal gain and harm as many people as you can, while people actually support, well, whilst other people out there have put their trust into you, it's very terrifying. You don't know who the killer is next. I don't know who the killer is next, by the way. It could be you, it could be him, it could be her. I don't know who. Because you're talking about a regular human being, like just going on throughout the day, but in return, she has this kind of thing where she's just evil and she's sentenced to like a imprisonment, was found guilty, but the fact that more than twice was she let go, it just sends questions, like why wasn't this like handled properly? Why wasn't this like interrogated properly? You have a person here who actually has killed a lot of babies, and she used her knowledge, her smartness to gain trust from others, and in return has killed other babies out there. And she does this in the most terrifying way. You're gonna be like really disgusted if I say this to you right now. She used this method to inject something into the baby's stomach. That terrified me so much because imagine that to yourself. That would be like really uncomfortable. That would be really uncanny. No offense. But when it comes to serial killers, the kind of thing that interests me about serial killers is that you have a human being. They are like regular human beings. They're regular, they're like mind their own business like everyone else, but they have like this personal problem deep inside. But instead of like am I fixing it from like just getting help from it, they decide to resort to like killing someone. I don't know, Jeffrey Dahmer killed a bunch of people out there because of interest and stuff. That's a good question. Why would Jeffrey Dahmer kill about 18? I don't know how many men he killed. Like 18, 17? I lost track about how many numbers of men he actually killed. But when it comes to younger children, when it comes to like trusting someone who has like came into your life and the kind of thing where you actually is like aware of, you trust the person's friendly, nice, and kind, but in return, but deep inside, she is evil. She knows it. She knows deep down how evil she is. She tells it in her notes. In her notes, she was like writing down, and that just sounds like chills out my spine because you're trusting a person, nice, respectful, and just is very, very trustworthy. But when they stab your back, when they backstab you, when they took away the things you cared about, that is actually horrifying. All the things you cared about, all the things you wanted to do, and when someone comes into your life and just destroys the things that you work so hard for, it is absolutely upsetting. The person you trusted deep down inside, who has actually backstabbed you, who's actually betrayed you. It's absolutely sad. It's not okay to backstab someone who has worked with you. But when you do something like this, it is your fault, by the way. It is your fault because of everything you put yourself into the children you killed, the families that the child wanted to like belong in. Those were the most important things in existence. Building a family, understanding what's it like to have a son, what's it like to having a daughter, and understanding how important it really is to have a child in your life. But this person likes to kill children, and she just wrote down in her notes that she can't have a family, she can't have children, but it doesn't give you the right to just kill these babies. It doesn't give you the right to do that. Those babies will not be able to grow up like every other baby out there, growing up with a mother's love, growing up without anyone's love, growing up into a world where they should like grow and learn how to take care of themselves. That's important. But when you take away their freedom, when you take away everything, when they're so young and defenseless, you're a piece of shit, you are. Period. It's disgusting because you trust someone. You trust someone, you believe in someone, and in the end, that person just backstabs you, like I said before. But you are not aware about this. You're not aware about most of the things itself that happened before, about who this person really is, the backstory about what this person actually does. She's a regular human being, but deep down, when you get to know her deep down before, it just makes no sense how the law system itself wasn't able to like arrest her before. It makes no sense. I don't understand like why. No offense, but it's hard to trust the police sometimes when it comes to stuff like this. You know, this is the third time she's got arrested and she's found guilty, but without actually like being arrested once and found guilty before. This happened to some predator who's like, I don't know, but he was a really creepy man. He went after a young girl, did something horrible to her, and disposed her body in the middle of a field outside somewhere. And he was arrested, but he was arrested before after assaulting a young girl before. But it's just that this is not the first time others are like let go of prison before. It's disgusting, you know? You need to do better than this. No offense. You need to do better than this. And officers actually work so hard, they actually work so hard to take care of the family. Sometimes they're just not trustworthy, you know? They just don't do their job properly. Others they do well. And people are gonna be like really offended by what I'm saying, but you are talking about a person here. Looks innocent, looks caring and respectful. But like I said before, you do not know how disturbing the backstory really is about her past. She is trusted by others, and she used her power to kill those babies without any remorse. And she used her power to do what she wanted, which is absolutely fucked up. You don't do that. You don't fucking do that to the families. You don't do that to the fucking families out there, you know? They just lost a family member. That was a baby that was like laughing and just crying and just needed a mother because that baby was defenseless. It was crying because that baby was like, I had a first nephew, you know, just I don't know how did he actually die. It's just I had like a first nephew. I don't know. It's just I had this nostalgia. But my other nephew, he wasn't the first. I know that before when I was young, I had like a nephew before, but he sadly passed away. I know that because I was there, but I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I need to look into this, but it's tough. You know, you lose someone, you lose a family member, and this affects you. You know, the relationship you build, the family you want to build. You know, like when it comes to like helping the child like grow and just become a being that the child can just like grow independent on. But when it comes to Lucy Letby, it terrifies me. Period. Everything you absolutely trusted, it's gone. Like, you don't understand how sad this really is. Everything you absolutely worked so hard, it's just gone, you know? It's hard to trust someone else like stuff like this. When it comes to someone smart and intelligent like Johann Lieber, he's a fictional character, by the way. But when it comes to like understanding about the characters, past and stuff, I watched a movie called Monster 2005, I believe, and it was an interesting TV show. I watched it. It was disturbing. It was like gripping. It was like interesting to watch. But when you understand the story itself, you get to understand about the villain. All right. But when it comes to murdering someone, you don't do that because it's not worth it. Murdering someone all just because of what you want, it's just absolutely terrible. Because Johann Lieber is one of the most terrifying anime villains out there. No offense, I'm sorry for like sounding like an anime character, but when it comes to like, developing a really interesting villain, he reminds me of like Lucy Letby. By the way, Lucy Letby reminds me of Johann Lieber, and I'm serious, because it's just when the traits are matching similar to Johann Lieber, even if they're not very similar, you have this kind of fear, you know, who can you trust? It's a scary kind of thing to like deal with. So I had to go right now because you have no idea how just scary this really is, you know, like the person I know I said like a lot in this video. But I watch a lot of like documentaries about serial killers and stuff because of like how the story is, how the murder goes on and stuff like that. And it's interesting because you get to like, I don't know, it's interesting, you know. You watch a movie about serial killers, you watch them. But when you don't kill anyone, that's good because it's the fact that your actions have consequences, even if you put them into the wrong direction. When you kill someone, it will stay with you for the rest of your life. And I'm serious. Alright? Right then. Do me a favor and hug your loved ones, alright? Just give them a big hug and just tell them that you mean the world to them, alright? Cheers.